let out a sudden wordless roar. That photo. The photo he had tossed from the second floor in annoyance while fooling around with Tess Sue. No, it's not nothing at all. As long as I find it, there's still hope. His best friends were startled and without time to ask questions, had no choice but to follow him as he dashed toward the trash bin. It was here. I definitely threw it here. How can it not be here? Where is it? It has to be here. Come out. Come out right now. With bloodshot eyes, Sage Xia muttered to himself while rummaging through the trash. Transformed into a groundhog, he nearly turned the garbage bin upside down. The onlookers behind him were left dumbfounded. They wanted to step forward and help but quickly retreated. No matter how spotless the villa was, how clean could the trash it produced possibly be? The pungent smell could be detected from a distance. Young Master Xia rummaging through the trash without a care for his image was truly a sight to behold. Under normal circumstances, they would have been laughing their heads off, but at this moment, all they felt was a complex mix of emotions, indescribable and overwhelming. In the end, the search yielded nothing. Sage Xia was on the verge of tears. How could it not be here? Where did it go? I would have kept it safe. Please just appear already. He was filled with regret, the kind that tears your heart apart but offers no chance for redemption. Years later, he would still be unable to forgive himself, spending the rest of his life paying for the mistakes of his youth. What are you looking for, Sage? Someone mustered the courage to step forward and help him up. Her photo, her photo. Sage Xia murmured in a daze. As they spoke, the sky suddenly darkened, and the villa's servants arrived upon hearing the commotion. The scene before me was somewhat eerie, making it hard to grasp what was happening at first. Young master, what are you doing? The servant asked cautiously. Where is it? The photo in the trash can. Photo? The trash is cleared daily as per your instructions. I've never seen any photo. The seawater was freezing cold, making me shiver uncontrollably. Fortunately, all the effort wasn't in vain. Receiving the new ID card and passport marked the beginning of a brand new chapter in life. After more than 10 hours of flight, the plane landed in New Zealand in the early morning. At the border checkpoint before entry, I was asked a few routine questions. Miss Jinxiao, may I ask how long you plan to stay in New Zealand? Hello, I've received an offer from the University of Auckland and will stay until my studies are completed. Perhaps because my English was fluent and my documents were in order, the border officer let me pass without further questions. I nodded in thanks, collected my luggage and walked out of the airport where the prearranged taxi had been waiting for some time. The driver is Chinese, having settled in New Zealand for many years, and will also be my guide for the next while. Shaolin, the journey must have been quite tiring with all the bumps. The landlord gave me the keys, so I'll take you there now. Thank you, Uncle Zhao. Being in a foreign land, hearing my native language feels especially heartwarming. Next, Uncle Zhao gave me many warnings about things to be mindful of in New Zealand, and I noted them down one by one. The scenery outside the car window was both unfamiliar and beautiful, much like my own feelings, nervous yet full of anticipation. Shaolin, come to your uncle's place for dinner tomorrow. Uncle Zhao's voice pulled my thoughts back to reality. Oh, that's really too kind, but I couldn't possibly trouble you and your wife. I appreciate the thought though. I politely declined. Don't be so formal, child. My son is coming home tomorrow too, so it's perfect timing for everyone to get together. Unable to refuse such warm hospitality, I had no choice but to agree. Amidst our casual conversation, we arrived at the destination without realizing it. Uncle Zhao helped carry my luggage to the elevator before taking his leave. I booked an apartment, and when I opened the door with the key, the interior decor was warm and cozy. Though it only had some essential furniture and items, everything was neatly arranged and clean. This would be my little nest from now on. After making the bed and freshening up, I had no appetite for dinner from swallowing so much seawater. But jumping into the sea was truly exhausting, and overwhelming fatigue made me fall asleep as soon as my head hit the pillow. I slept soundly through the night. The next day I wanted to sleep in, but unfortunately I had plans. I groggily opened my eyes and felt a bit disoriented as I took in the unfamiliar surroundings. It took me a while to realize that I had already left Zhongqing and arrived in a completely new country. New Zealand has a short summer with winter dominating most of the year. I went downstairs and bought a few winter coats. Having already dyed once, I wasn't as picky as before. As long as they kept me warm, they were good enough. The gathering is scheduled for noon at 12 o'clock sharp, and I'll be there on time. Uncle Zhao's house is also near the University of Auckland, just a few blocks away, so I decided to walk. But it wouldn't be proper to show up empty-handed, so I stopped by a store on the way to pick up some gifts. Sharon, you're here. Come inside quickly, it's cold out. Such a familiar greeting made me momentarily wonder if I hadn't jumped into the sea in vain. Aunt May was very warm, much more talkative than Uncle Zhao. Their son Zhao Jinshuan, for years younger than me, quickly came out to welcome us upon hearing the commotion. Hello, Sister Jinxia. Just from your name I guessed you'd be a great beauty, and now seeing you confirms it. Hello, Jinshuan. You flatter me too much. It's clear that the whole family really likes me, which actually makes me feel a bit embarrassed. The dinner table was filled with joy and Aunt May's cooking was fantastic. I had no appetite yesterday, but today I managed to eat 2 bowls of rice. Turns out Zhao Jinshuan is also a student at the University of Auckland. After finding out we were alumni, he kept calling me senior, non-stop. I told him it sounded awkward, but he wouldn't listen, so I just let it be. In the days that followed, we became much closer. He recommended some famous local restaurants and fun attractions to me, and gradually I started to adapt to life here. Soon the day of school opening arrived. On the first day of school, I successfully joined the international student community and made many new friends. After a few days of interaction, everyone became much closer. Besides studying, I also took on part-time jobs to earn some pocket money, finding joy in the balance of work and study. Jinxia, have you ever had a boyfriend? Share some fun stories with us. After several rounds of drinks and dishes, someone started it, and soon everyone was venting about their exes. Hearing this, my beaming smile froze in place. Not only had she been in a relationship, but it escalated to the point where she jumped into the sea to commit suicide on her wedding day. The truth is too shameful to speak of, and I intend to take this secret to my grave. To be honest, after all this time, thinking of the name Sage Xia no longer brings any sadness. But being cheated on after a 10-year relationship is undeniably a tragic story, no matter how you look at it. I don't want to see expressions of sympathy or pity on anyone's face. Just as I was pondering how to change the subject, Zhao Jinshuan spoke up. Seems like your story isn't very interesting, sister. How about listening to mine instead? His 2 sentences successfully diverted the attention, though I couldn't help but notice his occasional glances in my direction, as if he had caught a whiff of something unusual. When the feast ended and everyone had eaten and drunk their fill, he approached me on his own. Did today's topic touch on something that upset my sister? Don't worry about it, kid. I smiled. Zhao Jinshuan protested. I'm not a kid anymore, you can rely on me. I ignored him, hailed a taxi and made my exit. As someone who's been through it all, how could I not understand his feelings? It's just that I don't have the energy to invest in a new relationship, to gamble on the outcome of yet another romance. Returning home, I took a hot shower. Lying in bed, I turned on my phone and logged into the new WeChat account I had registered while still in China. Countless pop-up messages chimed incessantly, because my death set off a firestorm on the domestic internet. On the wedding day, the bride jumped into the sea, while the big screen played a scandalous video of the groom rolling in bed with another woman. The protagonist was none other than the young master of the Xia group, and the incident's popularity completely dominated the headlines of all major platforms. The comment section was flooded with uniform curses and accusations. These scumbags make me so angry. Can we apply to have them both executed by firing squad? This is murder. Ooh, how desperate must Nola have been to end her life by jumping into the sea. The murderer must be severely punished. In the past, this would have warranted being drowned in a pig cage. They should join Nola down there. I appreciate the kindness of netizens, but keeping me company is entirely unnecessary. Sage Xia and Tessu have become the targets of public criticism, facing condemnation from all sides. Meanwhile, Xia Corporation's stock continues to plummet, with losses beyond imagination. Strangely, the 2 protagonists have yet to speak out or make an appearance, as if they've vanished from the face of the earth. I watched for a while but soon lost interest. However, a video captured by a surveillance camera in the comments section caught my attention. In the video, a blurry figure was frantically rummaging through a trash bin, making me frown even through the phone screen. But based on the surroundings and my familiarity with him, I was certain that figure was Sage Xia. How come I never noticed before? He's quite the performance artist. I turned off my phone, suppressing the jumble of thoughts in my mind, and turned to gaze at the stars in the night sky through the window. I don't know which one is Grandma. If Grandma were still here, I wouldn't have been deceived so badly. Tears fell silently. Recalling those 30 days of putting on an act with Sage Xia still sends chills down my spine. Fortunately, everything is over now. The wonderful life that belongs to Injinxia has just begun. Still no news. After a night of heavy drinking, Sage Xia smelled the strong scent of disinfectant and felt nauseous. My head is throbbing, my stomach is churning violently, and my whole body is convulsing with spasms. He clearly drank at the villa last night, so how did he end up at his grandparents' detached house? You're awake. Grandma Xia couldn't hide the disappointment in her eyes. Grandma, any news about Nola Jiang? How dare you even ask? Old Mrs. Xia was so furious that her hands and feet suddenly became nimble. She stepped forward, raising her cane as if she couldn't wait to strike. For the sake of a woman, you've ruined the Xia family's century-old reputation. Do you know what people are saying out there? How can you even show your face in public? After saying this, her frail old body was racked by violent coughing. Sage Xia's friends were quick on the uptake and immediately stepped forward to calm the situation. Grandma, don't get too worked up. You mustn't let anger harm your health. Sage is just young and doesn't know any better. Once the hype dies down, everything will be fine. They then earnestly advised Sage Xia with well-meaning words. Nola Jiang has been missing at sea for over a month now. No sign of her alive or dead. Sage, there's no need to cling to just one tree and hang yourself. Exactly, with your status you could have any woman you want. Why torture yourself like this? These words Sage Xia has heard countless times. Yet he turns a deaf ear to all of them, treating them as nothing more than the wind passing by. No one could understand the obsession in his heart. A decade of emotions couldn't be shattered with just a few words. He clenched his teeth tightly, his gaze firm and stubborn, his pale face devoid of any color. This demeanor completely enraged old lady Xia. How long will you remain deluded? Look at yourself, where is the bearing of a corporate heir? I'm trying to arrange a marriage for you now, but no one would even consider you. You're the only son of the family, yet all the upbringing you've received since childhood has gone to the dogs. If you still don't know how to behave properly, you might as well stop using the Xia surname in the future. With that, the old lady didn't even glance at him and stormed off in anger. The room instantly fell into a deathly silence. Sage Xia propped himself up on the ground, rubbing his aching forehead, his voice weary and hoarse. Don't just stand there, you lot. Hurry up and think of a way to find her. Sage, you're truly impossible to reason with. Besides, there's a 99% chance Nola Jiang is already dead. Someone sighed and said, the old lady is already looking for a new girlfriend for you. I heard she could arrange your marriage as early as next month. Even Sage Xia found it absurd. With my current reputation, is there still someone willing to marry me? Of course, those from equal social standing wouldn't consider you, but given the Xia family's vast wealth and influence, there's no shortage of ordinary girls eager to marry into a wealthy family. Sage Xia snorted coldly, his gaze icy. Even if Nola Jiang really dies, I won't marry them. Just by his tone, it was clear he wouldn't let this go easily. His friends grew anxious. Sage, since when did you start playing the pure love game? Marrying anyone is the same anyway. In our circle, marriage is just a transaction, it won't stop you from having fun later. Besides, even if Sister Nola Jiang comes back, her family background still isn't good enough for you. So what if the bride gets swapped? These words were clearly not what Sage Xia wanted to hear. He hadn't expected that even his closest friends wouldn't stand on the same side as him. His face darkened. Help if you can, otherwise get out. In this lifetime, I'll only marry Nola Jiang and I'll never change my mind. Truly obstinate and unyielding, the group exchanged glances, ultimately swallowing their words and making a hasty retreat. Only Sage Xia remained seated in the room. So quiet it felt as if the world had abandoned him. All the sounds were fading away as he closed his eyes, lost in countless thoughts. He recalled our first meeting, the promise to grow old together, the carefully prepared anniversary gifts, the silent companionship by the sickbed. In the end, tears streamed down his face. Outside the door, Zane Xia witnessed everything that had just unfolded. He never expected to come home to such a dramatic scene. The man remained impeccably dressed in his suit, effortlessly concealing a glint of schadenfreude in his eyes. He took out his phone and made a call. A crisp female voice answered. President Xia, we've checked everything. There's no record of Miss Jiang departing from Jiangqing Airport, train stations or bus terminals. Could it be an unlicensed taxi? How long would it take to track that down? Zane Xia felt he was missing some details and began recalling their few encounters. He suddenly remembered the unfamiliar name he'd glimpsed at the hospital. A thought struck me. Look up the surname, and as quickly as possible. As winter gave way to spring and time passed, I completely integrated into the local community and the campus atmosphere at the University of Auckland. I attended classes on time every day, worked part-time in my free hours, and occasionally gathered with a few friends for meals when the mood struck. In short, I was very satisfied with my current life. The next goal is to obtain permanent residency, as there's nothing left to miss on the other side of the ocean. Today is the weekend. New Zealand truly lives up to being one of the countries farthest from the mainland even. Gossip news arrives much later here. Zhao Jinshuan and a few other friends rush to find me in a hurry. Jinxia, look quickly, this news is absolutely explosive. I can't believe I'm only just hearing about this juicy scandal now. On the phone my friend handed me was the video of the day I jumped into the sea at my wedding. My heart skipped a beat, and I quickly checked to make sure my face wasn't clearly visible in the video before letting out a sigh of relief. Then he casually remarked, "You guys are way behind the times, I already got the scoop ages ago." Great, keeping gossip to yourself, huh? The group was buzzing with heated discussion when Zhao Jinshuan indignantly exclaimed, "That sage Xia is utterly despicable. Cheating, sneaking around, and then playing the victim, he should just disappear." Thank goodness the girl found out the truth before the wedding, but jumping into the sea over such scum is just not worth it. A friend chimed in, "She's practically a heroine. I feel like flying back home just to pay my respects to her by the sea. It's too much trouble to fly around, just look it up online." I quickly stopped her train of thought. "She's not even dead yet, what's with the worship? But I really want to know, what's her name, what does she look like, she's so brave." Someone else chimed in. Listening to this, my head was spinning. Where did all this curiosity come from? If you actually find out, how am I supposed to explain it? I just happen to look like the deceased? Miscalculation, I should have gotten plastic surgery in advance. Guess what I found? Zhao Jinshuan suddenly said with a hint of smugness. All eyes turned toward him. He opened WeChat, where the dialogue box displayed the resume and information of the bride in question, which he had asked a friend back home to gather. The title read, #What is the Xia family hiding? A complete breakdown of the Crown Hotel drowning incident. As he zoomed in on the image, about to show it off to everyone, his gaze landed on the youthful photo and he froze instantly. The girl in the photo had delicate features, arched brows and phoenix eyes, the very image of a classic beauty. Zhao Jinshuan seemed somewhat entranced, then looked up at me again, his expression shifting from confusion to disbelief. The bride who jumped into the sea. Looks exactly like Sister Jinxia? Lost her soul? Show us quickly, someone urged. Sorry, my mistake. Got excited for nothing. Zhao Jinshuan hid his phone behind his back and let out an awkward laugh. Everyone felt bored and, after exchanging a few meaningless words, dispersed. I was about to leave as well when he quietly called me back. What's wrong? Sensing his gaze, I had a bad feeling. After hesitating for a moment, Zhao Jinshuan got straight to the point. A friend of mine back home dug up some inside information. The girl who jumped into the sea was named Nola Jiang, but you two look incredibly alike. Sister, do you know her? What is destined cannot be avoided. My greatest fear had arrived. I didn't rush to deny it. Instead, I reached out my hand. Oh, let me see. Taking the phone handed by Zhao Jinshuan, I lowered my gaze to the screen, my brows involuntarily furrowing. It was a photo of me, a high school ID photo in fact. I couldn't even find it anymore, yet it had somehow been dug up. Clearly, I underestimated the determination of modern netizens when it comes to gossip. Though many years have passed and I've matured quite a bit, the basic features remain unchanged. Anyone with a discerning eye could tell it was me. Besides, Zhao Jinshuan wouldn't have asked if he wasn't sure. Playing dumb wasn't a long-term solution. After a quick internal struggle, I finally decided to come clean. Nola Jiang was my previous name. After jumping into the sea, I changed it when I came to New Zealand. Perhaps the information overload was too much, as Zhao Jinshuan's mouth formed an O shape, his eyes wide with shock, clearly quite startled. He even began to stutter. Ah? This. You're actually the same person. So jumping into the sea was just a diversion? You wanted them to think you were dead? I nodded, yes. Wouldn't it have been easier to just break up with him? Why go through all this trouble? Isn't it too much? Before he could finish speaking, he suddenly had an epiphany. Right, breaking up directly would definitely lead to endless pestering. Better to end it cleanly like this. I chimed in, my tone filled with resignation. It is a bit troublesome. Many things have happened beyond my expectations, but since I'm currently far abroad, it should be manageable. To keep a secret, the fewer who know the better. At this thought, I glanced sideways at Zhao Jinshuan, seriously considering whether to silence him for good. You know what to do, right? Don't worry, sis. My lips are sealed. Zhao Jinshuan immediately expressed his loyalty, then added with concern, but I see this news has caused quite a stir. It seems he doesn't believe you're dead and is hoping to find you one day to continue harassing you. With so many people at the school, there's no guarantee someone else won't recognize you like I did. What should we do then? What he said was exactly what worried me the most. I let out a sigh. Don't worry, he doesn't know I've changed my name. I'll lay low for a while and cover up well when I go out. If it really comes to it, I can always get plastic surgery. I guess that's all we can do. He was sullen, lost in thought. Seeing this young man genuinely worried for me, it would be a lie to say I wasn't touched. I deliberately spoke lightly, trying to ease the tension. Just an ex-boyfriend, no need to be jumpy at every sound. But he just doesn't seem like a normal person to me. I'm genuinely afraid he might retaliate against you. Zhao Jinshuan said urgently. I absolutely won't allow such a thing to happen. I didn't know how to respond, so I simply stayed silent. Realizing he had lost his composure, he awkwardly scratched his head and asked softly, then should I call you Nola Jiang? Or Jinxia? Calling me by my original name would make changing it pointless. I rolled my eyes. This guy doesn't seem too bright. Zhao Jinshuan chuckled. Sister Jinxia, look ahead. You've already passed through the darkest phase of your life. The future is bound to be bright. At least you know how to talk. I praised him, but in the following days, I deliberately avoided him whenever possible. I even declined Uncle Zhao's invitation to dinner again, using my heavy academic workload as an excuse. I'm not a naive 17 or 18-year-old girl. I can clearly see Zhao Jinshuan's ulterior motives. I treat him like a younger brother, but he wants to date me. To avoid unnecessary misunderstandings, it's better to maintain a proper distance. May 5th Dragon Boat Festival. On the 68th day since the wedding maritime accident, Sage Xia still has no news about my whereabouts. It should be a time for family reunion, yet the villa is eerily silent. Lying on the bed in my room, he keeps replaying memories of the past, his tears long dried from crying. The determination to find me, once so firm, was finally worn away by collapse and despair. The once high-spirited prince of Jiangqing now looked as aged as if he were on his deathbed. Friends all advised him to yield to the old lady, to stop persisting. Nola Jiang had already sunk to the bottom of the sea, and it was time to abandon unrealistic fantasies and futile efforts. Yet he spent his days either drowning in alcohol or lost in repentance, his numb soul reduced to an empty shell. The door suddenly swung open from the outside, letting in a beam of light. A few friends swam in, their faces filled with excitement. Sage, incredible news. We might have found a trace of Sister Nola Jiang. What did you say? Sage Xia staggered to his feet, his dull pupils reigniting with intensity. He grabbed the speaker by the collar and roared, Tell me quickly, where was she found? I heard from a friend that Zane Xia discovered a girl overseas who bears a striking resemblance to Sister Nola Jiang. He's already left for New Zealand. Uncle. Sage Xia froze. He's also looking for Nola Jiang? Yes, my friend works under him, it's absolutely true. Though doubts lingered, now was not the time to dwell on irrelevant matters. The crucial point was that, whether true or false, they couldn't afford to let go of this sole lead. He immediately wanted to book a flight, but his friends stopped him, pouring cold water on his plans. Sage, don't rush. Tess Su is still locked up in the Xia family. Without dealing with her, how can you bring the person back? If you ask me, you might as well go all the way, send her abroad and make her disappear forever. When Nola Jiang sees your sincerity, wouldn't the chance of her forgiving you be even greater? A word awakens the dreamer. Sage Xia realized these so-called strategists were right and gladly adopted their plan. But the old lady kept Tess Su under strict surveillance, making it difficult to even get close. Friends offered all sorts of suggestions, but none were usable. Forget it, he might as well do it himself. Oakland Central Avenue. After hiding for half a month, I was still caught by Zhao Jinshuan while shopping. Even with my face covered beyond recognition, he still managed to find me. Let me see where I can find a crack in the ground to hide. Why are you avoiding me? Zhao Jinshuan blocked the way ahead, his eyes slightly red. The young man had bright eyes and white teeth, with a tall and slender figure, standing out dazzlingly in the crowd. No, I've just been really busy lately. What are you doing here? I tried to brush it off. At the same time, I wondered if I should make things clear, but since he hasn't confessed, Wouldn't it be presumptuous to rush into rejecting him? He rolled his eyes at me just like I did last time. I've been waiting here for you for a long time. What's the matter? I've been thinking a lot lately about how to help you get rid of your ex-boyfriend. As he said this with a serious expression, a wave of guilt suddenly welled up in my heart. I just wanted to avoid him, yet here he was thinking about me. It was a long-lost feeling being cared for so deeply, but it came at such an inappropriate time. Zhao Jinxuan looked at me earnestly, as if the words he was about to say made him a little nervous. Jinxia, I know you've been deeply hurt and have resistance to new relationships, but it's okay. I'll stay by your side and help you heal slowly. Actually, I've liked you from the moment I first saw you. I want to protect you. You're a good girl and shouldn't be treated this way. I think if I let you go, I would definitely regret it. Give me a chance. I'm not just the little brother you see in me. I'm a truly responsible man. Even if it's just a chance to pursue you, okay? Can this be considered a confession? It was so sudden that my brain just froze. The prepared rejection speech was right on the tip of my tongue. All I had to do was say it. But my mouth felt like it was sealed shut and not a single word would come out. Stupid mouth, hurry up and speak. Is the way to get rid of my ex-boyfriend to start dating you? I rephrased my question. Zhao Jinxuan quickly waved his hands and hurriedly explained, No, it's because I want to tell you how I feel. Would you be willing? Facing his hopeful gaze, I didn't soften my heart, even though what I was about to say would hurt. Because an ambiguous answer would be irresponsible. How would that be any different from Sage Xia, who played with people's emotions? I took a deep breath, ready to make things clear, when suddenly a deep voice, both unfamiliar and familiar, came from behind me. She doesn't want to. Those 4 simple words sent a shiver down my spine. Wait, wasn't I in New Zealand? How could I still hear that voice? Was it an auditory hallucination? I couldn't be sure, nor did I dare to turn around, afraid that I might face that icy expression and shatter the tranquility of my life. Nola Jiang. The voice came again, this time clearer than before. No way, my heart was pounding, and in my panic all I wanted was to escape. I had barely taken a step when my legs gave way and I stumbled over a rock, losing my balance and nearly falling flat on my face. A pair of large hands caught me from behind, gripping my shoulders to steady me. Then a perfect profile appeared beside me. It was indeed Zane Xie. Finally, I found you. He stared at me with a meaningful look. For the first time I saw a different emotion on his face. Mister, you've got the wrong person. Thankfully, I had disguised myself before going out. As long as I refused to admit it, I'd be fine. Zane Xie curled his lips and bent down to look into my eyes through his sunglasses. Care to chat? Before I could respond, Zhao Jinxuan stepped forward, shielding me behind him and preparing for a confrontation. His tone was unfriendly. You've scared my friend. May I ask who you are? She knows who I am. Zane Xie spoke slowly, like a hunter who had caught his prey. Running away won't solve anything. Even if you change your name, I'm here on behalf of the Xie family to give you an explanation. Hearing this, Zhao Jinxuan had basically guessed Zane Xie's identity. The gazes of both men were fixed on me. One was full of concern, the other inscrutable. I don't owe anyone an explanation. I'm perfectly content with my life now. Taking off my sunglasses and mask, I said firmly. Having finally started a new life, I didn't want any further connection with the past. At this point, Zane Xie didn't press further. He sighed as if feeling somewhat regretful. I respect your decision. I've brought the belongings you left at the company, they're in the car. I'll leave after you take them. Surely you won't refuse this. I nodded in agreement, and Zhao Jinxuan also wanted to follow, but he was stopped. My car isn't welcoming you. These two clearly met for the first time, so why is the tension between them so thick? I comforted Zhao Jinxuan. It's fine, he won't hurt me. Don't worry. Zane Xie walked ahead and I followed closely behind. His car was parked across the street, a full-size SUV with plenty of space. I had no intention of getting in, but he hoisted me up in one swift motion. The interior of the car was dimly lit, amplifying the man's intimidating presence. Where is it? I asked anxiously, eager to get out of the car. The sound of the car door locking answered me. He sat beside me, a faint smile playing at the corners of his lips, his sharp phoenix eyes exuding a chilling aura as he whispered, Do you really think you can leave? What do you want? I tensed up as if facing a formidable enemy. Taking you back. You're not playing fair. Didn't you just say you'd respect me? After a few seconds of silence, Zane Xie's massive frame suddenly leaned in. With one hand braced against the car roof and the other resting on the back of my seat, he came close without physical contact, maintaining a barely there distance. He was so tall that I only reached his chin, his entire body like a wall looming over me. Instinctively I tried to retreat, but there was nowhere to go. "Are you avoiding me?" He raised an eyebrow. "Come down quickly, stay away from me." "I told you. Just say it directly if you have something to say." I was going crazy, yet didn't dare to anger him. What kind of words need to be said in such a strange posture? Sage Xia pursed his lips slightly, his eyes misty with emotion. He leaned in closer, coaxing softly by my ear. "I'm much better than that little brat. Why don't you give me a chance to prove it?" "What chance?" My mind went completely blank. "A chance to pursue you." A single sentence sent shivers down my spine. Has the world gone mad? Encountering two confessions in one day, both equally terrifying. Zane Xia, have you lost your mind? I almost married your nephew. The one who almost married Sage Xia was Nola Jiang. What does that have to do with me liking in Jinxia? Zane Xia suppressed the sharpness in his eyes, his tone softening considerably. "I'm not crazy. It's just that after you jumped into the sea, I thought I'd never see you again." I stopped struggling and stared at him in a daze. He smiled self-deprecatingly and continued, "Luckily it was all a false alarm. But I know I can't wait any longer, nor can I let anyone else have you. It doesn't matter if you don't agree now. I'll fight and snatch. No one can outcompete me until you say yes." Every word he said sounded like Greek to me. I had never seen Zane Xia like this, out of control, domineering, and utterly unreasonable. But having just ended a failed relationship, I really had no heart to consider these things. "Your career is all in China and—" "I can move the company to New Zealand," he interrupted. "Your family is all in Jiangqing. They're not as important as you." Well, what else can I say? The Xia family members are all hopeless romantics. Telling them no is pointless. They'll only get more excited. "Will you come back with me for a while?" Zane Xia said softly, his eyes flashing with violence. "I will stand up for you. Your grievances won't go unanswered. They may regret it, but they haven't faced the consequences they deserve. I will make them pay." Sage Xia pleaded with the old lady for several days before she finally agreed to let him see Tessu. The place where they were keeping her was very secluded, on the top floor of a standalone building. Showing no ill intent, the bodyguards released him immediately after confirming they had been instructed to do so. With a loud bang, the long-sealed door swung open. Seeing Tessu again, the once beautiful and glamorous woman was now emaciated beyond recognition, disheveled and rambling incoherently, as if her mind had also been affected, clear evidence of the severe torment she had endured during this time. At the sight of the visitor, Tessu crawled fearfully into a corner, her voice trembling. What are you doing here? Please spare me, I beg you, spare me." Seeing her neither human nor ghostly appearance, Sage Xia had lost all interest. Without a word, he threw a plane ticket onto the ground. "I'm sending you abroad. Disappear forever from now on." The unexpected surprise sounded like heavenly music to Tessu. Anywhere would do, she just wanted to escape this hell. Tears instantly burst forth as she picked up the plane ticket and scrambled to cling to Sage Xia's leg, looking up at him with uncontrollable excitement. Sage, I knew you still cared about me deep down. I promised to disappear forever, never to appear before you and Nola Jiang again." With that, she kowtowed heavily several times. Looking down from his superior position, Sage Xia clenched his teeth bit by bit. Perhaps my name struck a nerve, or perhaps the recent humiliations surged up in his mind. His expression twisted from calm to contorted. A sudden burst of rage made him deliver a vicious slap. In Tessu's current physical state, she couldn't withstand it at all. Broken teeth mixed with blood spilled across the floor, leaving her in a pitiful, unrecognizable state. Sage Xia let out a beast-like roar. "I spared you, but who will spare me? All of this is your fault. If it weren't for you, why would Nola Jiang leave? How could I have been seen naked by everyone? You ruined me. You destroyed the Xia family. Your life alone isn't enough to make up for it. Your entire family should be buried with you. I'll spare your wretched life and send you abroad. Use your special skills to seduce those old men and cling to survival. For the rest of your days, you'll atone for Nola Jiang's suffering." Tessu, with her breath as faint as a thread, did not beg for mercy or wail. Instead, she let out an eerie laugh. Days of torment had long since shattered her mind, leaving her in a deranged state, her lips stretched to her ears like a clown's grotesque grin. Nola Jung didn't jump into the sea because of me, it was because of you. Ignoring Sage Xie's darkened expression, Tess-Su recklessly vented the resentment she had suppressed deep in her heart. It was me who came on to you, me who sent those videos, but you didn't refuse, did you? If you could have kept your pants on, what could I have possibly done to you? To sneak around with me, you neglected Nola Jung, even went so far as to fake amnesia. Whether Nola Jung is angry at me or disappointed in you, deep down you know the truth. Blaming me is just your way of being a hypocrite, wanting to have your cake and eat it too. Today's disaster is entirely your own doing. Serves you right that Nola Jung would rather jump into the sea than marry you. Every word struck Sage Xie's sore spots with precision, sharper than a blade, cutting his heart to bloody ribbons. He completely lost his sanity. I'll kill you. Sage Xie kicked Tess-Su to the ground and pounded her with relentless punches, quickly staining the floor with blood as the metallic scent filled the entire room. Piercing screams mingled with laughter, adrenaline wailing its final lament. Tess-Su was almost unconscious and could no longer feel pain, yet the terrifying laughter still didn't stop. She had already fallen into an abyss with no hope of survival. Only one thought remained in her muddled mind. Drag Sage Xie down to hell with her. Hatred burned through her life, and her severely exhausted body erupted with unprecedented power, unleashing it all in this moment. Blinded by rage, Sage Xie was caught off guard and thrown to the ground. Before he could even get up to fight back, a fruit knife was already plunged into his body. Excruciating pain tore through him as Tess-Su, like a demon, mindlessly pulled the knife out and stabbed it back in. 1 stab, 2 stabs, 3 stabs. The soundproofing in the confinement room was truly excellent. Desperate screams echoed one after another, yet the bodyguards outside remained completely unaware. It was you who destroyed me, it was you who destroyed me. Blood splattered on Tess-Su's face. The price of a life burning out was death. She exhausted her last ounce of strength and finally collapsed straight down, no longer breathing. Sage Xie lay in a pool of blood, wanting to call for help but only gurgling blood in his throat. He could no longer hear anything, all sounds fading away, leaving him alone at the center of a pitch-black world. So this is how cold the world could be. In his final moments, the memories of the past flashed before his eyes like a revolving lantern. Only the scene had turned from color to black and white. He saw that year in high school when he was mesmerized watching Nola Jung dance from the audience, saw Nola Jung accept his marriage proposal, saw Nola Jung cry until her eyes were swollen because of the fake car accident. He wanted to say sorry, but all he could do now was shed tears. An endless chill swept over him. He was about to enter another world. The door suddenly opened. Light poured in as if the gates of heaven had swung wide. The silhouette appeared like an angel. An angel had come to take him away. Could someone like him really enter heaven? Young master. Young master. The bodyguard's scream made Sage Xie think he was hearing things. The figure at the door wasn't an angel but a real person. He steadied his gaze. It was the very person he had been longing for day and night. I never expected that upon returning to Jiangqing, I would witness such a tragic scene. I had imagined several ways to bid farewell to Sage Xie, but never anticipated this one. A scream pierced through the detached villa, drawing almost everyone to the scene. 2 bodyguards wanted to save Sage Xie but found themselves helpless, anxiously at a loss. In truth, anyone with eyes could see that such severe injuries were beyond saving, even if a divine healer were to intervene. Sage Xie seemed to notice me. He raised a bloodied finger trying to crawl toward me, but Tess-Su's corpse pinned him down, leaving him unable to move an inch. Their blood mingled together, indistinguishable as to whose was whose, like winding rivers of dark crimson. A living hell, no exaggeration. Sage Xie and Tess-Su are together forever now. I recalled that screenshot where he told her, "We'll be together forever." And looking back, it turned out to be a prophetic statement. Sage. Sage. The old woman fainted from grief while holding the lifeless Sage Xie in her arms, and the scene descended into chaos. No one had the presence of mind to pay any attention to me anymore. The emotions in my heart were indescribable. I had left this place of trouble by faking my death through jumping into the sea, but he met his true end at such a young age. Sane Xie grabbed my hand and murmured, "Don't look anymore." Even he was utterly shocked. He had originally intended to return and teach that despicable couple a lesson, but never expected to be confronted with 2 cold corpses instead. The anger dissipated, leaving only sighs of regret. We stepped outside, standing in the sunlight as we watched medical personnel coming and going. The old lady was carried into the ambulance on a stretcher, Death had never felt so close to us. Do you think? I knew what Xia wanted to ask. With a light laugh, I felt a sense of relief, letting go of him and also freeing myself. I don't hate him anymore. Let everything become the past. The wind picked up, scattering my hair in all directions. I tucked the strands behind my ears and forced a faint smile at Xia. I'd like to take a walk alone to clear my mind. With such a major incident, you should go attend to your duties. Truthfully, I felt nothing at all. Tomorrow would be a brand new day, it's just that some people would forever remain in yesterday. In just over 2 months, the Xia family shocked Jiangqing twice. Upon learning that the much-maligned male and female leads of the viral video had both met their demise, netizens couldn't help but lament the unpredictability of life. No matter how grave their past mistakes were, everything is now wiped clean. The worst was yet to come. Unable to bear the grief of losing her grandson, the old lady soon passed away as well. After staying in Jiangqing for a while, I prepared to return to New Zealand, with no plans to come back unless under special circumstances. Xia insisted on accompanying me back after handling the funeral arrangements. Let him be. For the next 2 years I focused wholeheartedly on my studies and successfully graduated from the University of Auckland. Meanwhile, he relocated his company to New Zealand and quickly monopolized the local industry. Xia told me not to look for a job and instead join his company, offering me any position and salary I wanted. I refused. Life was so ordinary yet incredibly fulfilling. Soon 4 years passed in the blink of an eye. I felt that at most we were just cohabiting to get by. Yet he was always cheerful all day long, though I couldn't fathom what he was so happy about. That world-weary face full of resentment was nowhere to be seen anymore. One day Zhao Jinshuan came running over excitedly, barely able to contain his joy. Sister Jinxia, great news. Your permanent residency permit has been approved. Is that so? Feeling a bit smug, I boasted to Xia, who was cooking. You don't have one, do you? He took it and glanced at it, pretending to be disappointed. I don't, but tomorrow I'll donate money to build a new building. Getting one shouldn't be a problem. I was completely deflated and scolded him for taking shortcuts. Zhao Jinshuan joined my faction only to be thrown out by Xia. Time flies. Domestic affairs are drifting further away from us. Occasionally reminiscing about the past always carries a hazy, indistinct quality hard to see clearly. The name Sage Xia was thus lost in the river of time, never to be mentioned again. No matter how many regrets and gains or losses there were in the past, one should let go of the burden and embrace the new spring and a fresh start with a renewed spirit. Reflect on my past and join me in looking up to spring.